and welcome to a new episode of Flashback Sequence Engage, the podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and this weekend's is very special. It's Father's Day weekend, and I'm a father, so it's like 2 birthdays for me. So anyhow, we got a great show for you. We're going to do the second half of E3, so a lot of big things came out earlier this week with E3. Square Enix did their announcement. Who else did their announcement? Oh, we have a special guest. I completely forgot. I forgot to mention we have a special guest, my friend Josh Morrison. He's very gifted in video game knowledge. He's a killer, straight killer on Destiny, and among other first-person shooters, and one of my best friends that I've known for years. So,
thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me on the show.
You seem a little nervous.
No, I feel humbled. That's
Humbled?
Quite a gracious introduction.
Well, I mean, I appreciate you being here and doing an episode.
Thank you.
Because it's been a little bit of work trying to get Josh to do an episode. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm an introvert by nature, so you're definitely pulling me out of my shell on this one. But no, it's good to be a part of a show that you're passionate about, so thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here and talk with you and Alicia.
What's up?
Yeah, she's here. So anyhow, back to what we were talking about. So yeah, E3 finalized itself, and so we're going to talk a lot about that, and then we'll talk about some funny news that happened this week. Yeah, I'm going to throw you a curveball, Josh, because you don't know some of the stuff we're going to talk about.
Okay, I'm interested to see where this goes.
And then we're just gonna kind of liven it up, or we're just gonna kind of mellow it out with some funny tweets this week. So anyhow, yeah, that's all I got for right now. But so let's go ahead and get into the news. All right, so first article up. So let me just kind of give a small rundown. We're not going to do the most current events or the most trending news. We're going to do some funny news this week. And some of it might be a little odd, maybe on the macabre side. Just saying. All right, so first article. This one's right up your alley, Josh, and I know you're going to love it.
Oh, boy.
Josh, are you a big fan of tacos?
Usually, yeah. I especially love Doritos Locos tacos.
Oh, really?
Do you?
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you're going to love this, because I'm a huge fan of tacos. And this is a taco article. So here's the title, and I'm going to prepare you for it. Man serves his own leg to his friends as taco meat.
What in the world? That's... I don't know how I can respond to that.
I think whatever reaction you want to go with, that's like usually the best one.
Dumbfounded is the one that is currently hitting me. Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
No, I mean, yeah, taco meat ended up being someone's leg. Yeah, it doesn't sound very appetizing, but it happened.
Was that in the United States?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Only in the United States we would do something that...
No.
I'm curious, is it punishable by law?
No, it's actually legal.
Really?
Yes, except for Idaho.
Okay.
Go figure. I don't know why. Because I guess it's like religious, basis that you can't do it in Idaho.
Okay.
But anyhow, in all the other 50 states, I guess it's... In the other 40-some states...
Yes, I tend to agree with
Jesus
Alicia.
Christ, babe, are you going to... Do you want a mic? Do you want a mic?
I'm good.
Okay. The other 49 states...
There you go. Love you.
God damn. Fucking gonna drive me to drink. I'm already starting. Hold on one second. I gotta take a drink.
So he will face no legal repercussions
No.
for that.
Well, I don't know, unless his friends decide to like sue him for like
I feel like that's
poisoning him.
illegal. I feel like that's gotta be mistaken on that. It's gotta be illegal.
No. Okay. So the article is, and this I'm going to quote the article. This is from Mandatory, and it's been out on some other sites, but this is where I found it. So I don't know about you, but if somebody was to offer me free tacos, I'd be all in with that. So
Yeah.
But a Reddit user goes by the name is, mind you, his name is amazing, Incredibly Shiny Shark is his Reddit username. Well, anyhow, who spoke with Vice.com about serving his flesh to 10 of his closest buddies. Here's his reasoning. According to the story, the Reddit user suffered a gruesome leg injury in 2016 during a motorcycle accident. At some point, he asked doctors if he could keep his amputated limb, which is legally allowed by the United States law, except for Idaho, for religious purposes. That's when things took a disgusting turn that only Hannibal Lecter would enjoy.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah. So the reasoning behind it was, so my friends and I always had joked, if you could try human flesh, is it in an ethical and healthy way, would you? No, I wouldn't do it. No, I'm good. Especially even with some fava beans and some Chianti. Anyhow.
You,
What was you going to say?
I'm curious, and you're probably going to lead into this. So it was known to them what they were eating.
No.
Or it was a complete surprise.
It was a surprise.
Okay, that was going to be my next
They
question.
they didn't find out till after. So here's what this guy did. So sautéed with onions and peppers, the man hired a professional chef to fry up his flesh and served the human lib-filled fajita tacos to his unsuspecting counterparts. What credible chef would risk their reputation on cooking human flesh?
Man, I don't even know.
That's a pretty sick individual
I
right
had
there.
to think that one through. Like, if he could disguise it in a way to where it wouldn't raise suspicion, or
No, but
is there
here's
a way
the
of
thing.
doing
Like,
that?
how are you going to cover that up? I mean, Okay, so let's play a little devil's advocate on this. All right. So let's say the chef didn't know what it was or what kind of meat that he was using. Wouldn't you? If you were a good chef, wouldn't you kind of pick up on this meat looks a little off?
Yeah. I would assume that they've seen most cuts of various types.
And they're like, this doesn't look like any kind of sirloin I've ever seen. Or like whatever thinner meat that cut they
Yeah.
do.
It had to have been a personal acquaintance, somebody that was willing to go along with the sick joke. I would have to guess.
That's a super sick joke.
I don't think I'd be hanging out with this guy anymore.
I feel like this is like a creepypasta. It was on Reddit, for God's sake.
Yeah. I don't know. Did it ever discuss their reviews of what they ate?
Oh, you mean like, did they give like a Yelp review? Were they like, well, I just want to go ahead and say that the ambiance was nice and, the presentation was on par, but the meat was a little chewy and a little stringy.
I heard you got to be careful with those Yelp reviews. People can actually, well, they have sued for the low ones, but thankfully this guy has no restaurant under his name.
What would you name a restaurant? I mean, if you were serving like human flesh.
Lieutenant Dan's old legs.
Lieutenant Dan's old legs.
Maybe we should get Alicia a mic.
Maybe we should get you, Mike, if you're bringing out this heat.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah, it's just super weird. Okay, so needless to say, this was their response. So needless to say, most of the friends weren't exactly pleased. I'm assuming it was like at least 100%.
I would be horrified.
I think he kind of dubs it down just a little bit. Needless to say, most of the friends weren't exactly pleased when they found out about the vomit-inducing plate and ended up spitting what was left of the taco into napkins. As for taste, and this is coming from the Reddit user, and this is why I say it sounds like a Yelp review. The Reddit user who tried his own leg taco. Isn't that kind of like you're cannibalizing yourself?
That's exactly what it's like.
Is it like cannibalism Inception?
He has
It's like your flesh within your flesh. Within your flesh.
the most morbid of curiosities. Yeah.
Yeah. Super weird. He said it was beefy in flavor, but it was also tough and chewy.
I couldn't do it. Not even for money. That's
Yeah.
that's beyond me. And you'd always take that knowledge with you, knowing that you have participated in cannibalism, and not just
I mean, that's not like
somebody
one of the-
else. It's yours.
Well, yeah. But here's the thing: it's not like the Donner Party where
Mm-hmm.
you know Donner Party serving one. It's more like, yeah. I mean, you're not going to get rid of that stigma right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not going to want to actively put that on your resume. You know, you did the strangest thing that I've done. Well, this year, I was hanging out with a buddy and we had some tacos and he served us up some leg meat and yeah, we figured, fuck it, why not? Let's get into some cannibalism.
It's an icebreaker for sure.
Yes. That'd be like one of those. Like,
Proof that's still alive.
huh?
Oh yeah, I like to judge which one of these I've actually done, or which three I've actually done, and which one's a lie.
Oh yeah. That would be like good for that show.
That would be one of the last I'd guess was actually true.
Yeah. I think the other thing would be like a Tinder icebreaker. Imagine you're on Tinder and then you're talking to a guy and then he's like, "I've been a cannibal." At one point, I had leg tacos the other night.
Oh man,
Imagine the women he would pick up with that.
I don't think I want to.
All right, so we're gonna get off this topic. This is getting so weird now. But anyhow, it's disgusting, and say no to cannibalism. Or hey, better yet, if your friend offers you free tacos and it didn't come from Taco Bell, run and hide, because it could be leg meat. Or if you just recently had a leg taken off, it could be leg meat.
This guy
That's your PSA from Flashback Sequence Engaged, the podcast.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first. All right, so the next article, and we'll go with something a little lighter. So have you heard about this one, Josh? It's Domino's offering to fix potholes in your town through paving for pizza.
Well, it sounds like genius. I'm interested. Tell me more, because our hometown is full of those.
I think a lot of hometowns are full of those. All right, so quoting the article, according to Yahoo Finance, Domino's Pizza is offering to fix cracks, bumps, and potholes in your town in an effort to save your pizza. Okay, that sounds commendable.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds super weird though. Have you ever hit a pothole and instantly cringed? We know that feeling is heightened when you're bringing home a carryout order from your local Domino's.
Oh, okay. This might fit into the marketing campaign that I've seen them do on television, where disaster strikes and like there's a guy who pulls up in his driveway
The
and
insurance.
the tree falls on his
The pizza
car,
insurance.
but he's not even bummed about it because his pizza was intact.
I mean, what's the going rate for pizza insurance? I mean, is it like an extra $1, or is it just something they offer?
I hope it's cheap. I'm not sure.
I hope it's super cheap because, like, I'm afraid that I'm gonna bring home and it's gonna be cold pizza. Is that covered under my insurance? Do you think, Josh?
I don't know.
I mean, potholes, act of God, trees, car accidents. But what about cold pizza? Inquiring minds want to know.
In my mind, it would be just as much of a hit to the taste as any of those other things. So
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like cold pizza in the morning, but I mean, I want to at least enjoy at one point when it was hot. Now, when I've had a rough night and I want to eat pizza in the morning, I don't really worry about heating it up because I've already enjoyed it when it was hot. So it's just whatever. It's just substance at that point.
Domino's, not to get off on a tangent,
No, go ahead.
I live, as you know, the majority of my year overseas that I'm back here in the States for a while, but Domino's was one of my great escapes when I wanted to break the tradition of my normal day eating. And I live in the Dominican Republic, and there's a Domino's 30 minutes away from me.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, they actually have a Domino's in the Dominican Republic?
They have a Domino's. It's there in a town called Puerto Plata, and I'm used to eating a lot of other foods on a daily basis. A lot of staples of diet down there, like chicken and rice, beans, and when I just got tired of eating it too frequently, I would go to Puerto Plata and order Domino's pizza. No insurance offered there whatsoever.
Really? They don't offer insurance?
No.
I thought that's like a universal thing.
It's honestly some of the best pizza I've ever had, and I'm not just saying that. It was phenomenal. I think that they've really improved their ingredients, their recipe, something.
I don't know. I don't feel like it should be different. If I go to a different country and I want Domino's pizza, it should be the same. What's so different about it? I want to know, Josh. I want to know.
Maybe there's no difference. I could be wrong. I had not eaten at a Domino's in the United States in several years, but when I went down there, it was better than I ever remembered it.
Maybe it's one of those things where the heart grows fonder, when you haven't had it in a while.
Are we talking about pizza still?
I guess it could go for just about anything.
Okay.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
Yes.
Apparently it was Domino's Pizza in the Dominican Republic, so anyhow, getting back to the article. Russell, this guy's name is amazing too. Russell Weiner,
Okay.
president of Domino's. No offense to your name, but it's Weiner.
Related to Anthony?
And I don't think he's related to Anthony Weiner. Anyhow, president of Domino's USA said in a statement, "We don't want to lose any great tasting pizza to potholes, ruining a wonderful meal. Domino's cares too much about its customers and pizza to let that happen." Kudos to you. Good job, Domino's. That's good. You saw a problem, and you're willing to fix it. And it's sad because we can't even get local governments to fix potholes. There's so much red tape you got to go through, and you got to get special funding and all kinds of crap. But nobody's going to pay for my tires when I hit, 6 rows of potholes.
Yeah. I think it's genius marketing.
Yeah.
Because everybody has suffered from that, and they'd love to be proactive in getting rid of them. So
Right.
why not help Domino's and get good pizza in the process?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I would eat more Domino's if, I would gravitate more towards getting Domino's pizza if I felt like the paving for pizza was really benefiting.
How long is this going to last? Did they give any kind of time frame as to when the campaign starts? Is this something that I could bring to my town starting now?
Yes. So, real funny thing. That's funny how you asked that question. To nominate your town, all you have to do is go to pavingforpizza.com. Simply enter your zip code and email address, and then sit back and wait. Kick your feet up and grab a beer. If your neighborhood is busted, I love how they put this. If your neighborhood's busted ass streets get fixed, you'll be enjoying a large 3-topping pizza for just under $8 in no time.
Is that direct from the website?
That's direct from the website. That's quoting the article. That's pretty good writing right there.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I like
they
to
actually
hear.
already have They already have some towns that have benefited from this.
Really?
Yeah. So, see here, Bartonville, Texas, Milford, Delaware, Athens, Georgia, and Burbank, California have already been beneficiaries of the Domino's Pizza latest PR campaign. Who will be next?
Hopefully, Lancaster, Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Lancaster. I would like to see my hometown.
Yeah.
Get some fresh roads.
There are some places so bad
Roads.
near where I live that I have to swerve to avoid them.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, I've got the thin profile tires anyways, so you feel everything.
Wait.
On a normally
Which car are we
paved street.
talking about? We talking about the old man car?
I might have literally just signed us up for this, by the way. Just saying.
Really?
I've just done that.
All right.
Awesome. We
got one vote for us.
Alicia just took
So
steps.
if you love flashback sequence engaged, go to pavingforpizza.com and vote Lancaster, Ohio, because that's where we're from. And I just doxed myself. I'm not going to give you my address because that'd be asinine. But I don't have a problem saying where I'm from. But I put Columbus just because it's the closest, most local place. But anyhow, whatever. What?
I hope I didn't rat you out
Rat me out for what?
for your city.
No, that's alright. Nah. People could look that shit up. It's on the internet.
Okay.
Alright, so anyhow, getting into the next article. Let's see what we got. What kind of article you want now, Josh? You want...
Ooh. If you're giving me the choice, what's the news, if you're ready to go there, for the Electronic Entertainment Expo?
We're not there yet.
Okay. I
We're
will
not
wait
there yet.
patiently.
You will wait patiently.
Okay.
We have actually a few more. We can pick from 3 articles, and I'll let you choose.
Okay. Ooh.
All right, first one. You might be interested to know about some of these. So this article is, and this title is pretty amazing. Come on, guys. Chinese man jams eggplant up butt to relieve constipation. That's your first pick.
What are the other 2 options?
I don't know if there's gonna be as good as that one.
Is it? We'll hold that thought.
All right, so the next one. Self-proclaimed gangster admits to hit and run on Boston News and is immediately arrested.
Oh my.
And then last but not least,
I'm still laughing from number 1.
I know number 1's really good. All right, so let's go with this one. This would be your third option.
Okay.
This woman thinks she stays beautiful because she drinks dog urine. So I'll insert some Jeopardy music and I'll let you choose.
Okay.
So you have a choice. You have dog urine. You have eggplant butt. And then you have gangster hit and run. Which do you choose, Josh?
I hope I'm not disappointing your listeners. I'll choose.
You pick whatever you want.
Let's choose eggplant. I've got that morbid curiosity, but not to the extent of wanting to eat my own flesh. I just want to hear how the story plays out.
You want to know why a guy sticks an eggplant up his butt for constipation?
Sure, let's.
Wouldn't you think it would make more constipation?
This reminds me of the South Park episode where they tried to feed themselves from the other end, thinking that it gave health benefits. I think it's from one of the earlier seasons, but it's right along the same lines of this article.
All right, you ready for this one?
To the most I'll ever be.
All right, according to Newsview, a constipated 50-year-old Chinese man recently went 2 days without dropping a deuce. He then came to the logical solution of cramming an eggplant into his rectum. And this is quoting it. Sure, that sounds like a good way to rectify the situation.
Those puns.
But
Those puns.
Well, except for it wasn't. It wasn't a good idea. On top of not crapping for another 2 days, the man has reportedly began experiencing bouts of nausea, vomiting. His attempts to remove the 30 centimeter long piece of fruit proved to be futile. Reasons for that range from giant pieces of fruit that don't belong in your butt to the fact that it was jammed so far up his ass it was actually pressing on his lungs.
What? Oh my gosh. That's dedication. Is he okay?
That'd be your next question. So the man is expected to make a full recovery, hopefully. He'll take some time while he is recuperating to look up laxative in the dictionary. We have never seen we've never seen a Chinese dictionary, but our hunch is, much like its American counterpart, he won't find eggplant and anus anywhere in the definition. It's quoting that article. It's a well-written piece of news right there. So what did you think of that one, Josh?
I'm shaking my head, just confusion and smiling.
Aren't you glad you said it on this episode?
Well, I liked all my choices. They were all humorous and informing. I'm glad he's going to be okay. Although I'm glad that stupidity hurts occasionally.
So there you go, kids. Don't stick eggplants up your butt. A PSA provided you by Flashback Sequence Engage, the podcast.
You give out very solid pieces of information.
We're all about solid pieces here at Flashback Sequence Engage, the podcast. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break. We'll get into our main topic, and then if we still have a little bit of time, we'll get into some funny tweets of the week. I don't know how current these tweets are. They said they're recent. We'll figure it out. But anyhow, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll get into the second half of our E3 news roundup. So we'll see you shortly. And welcome to the second half of Flashback Sequence Engage, the podcast. Hey, big things are going to happen. We're going to talk about E3. We're going to button this shit up, E3 2018, tonight. Oh, no, it's me today. Because technically it's the next day, because it's after 1 a.m. On Flashback Sequence Engage, the podcast. Just telling you, right there. Are you excited, Josh?
I am. It's been a big year for E3, and that's saying something because they're always bringing something huge to the table and impressing gamers and hardcore, casual alike.
Okay, so when you look back at 2017 compared to 2018, do you think 2017 was kind of a snore fest?
I'm trying to remember everything that took place last year.
Wasn't it like World War II? Call of Duty World War II?
I believe, yeah, because it hadn't come out yet. I don't follow Call of Duty as closely as I once did.
I mean, we had the PS4 Pro was announced.
Yes.
The One X was announced.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty. I mean, there was a lot of big titles that were named. Battlefield 1. Right?
I could be wrong. I think Battlefield 1 was a 2016 release.
Okay, maybe.
But,
okay.
Yeah, I would say...
It's a snooze fest compared to this year.
Maybe that's evidence right there, because I can't remember memorable titles off the top of my head.
Right.
Without looking them up.
But, like, this year, it's heavy when it comes to hitters this year.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Nintendo bringing out a lot of great stuff. Ubisoft did a few good things. Starlink, the Star Fox game. I'm really interested in that. I think it's called Starlink.
I believe you're right.
Anyhow, so yeah, we're going to talk about some E3 coverage. We're going to finalize from our previous episode that we talked about some before announced E3 stuff and then early announced E3 stuff. So we're going to just finish that up. So what do you want to talk about on E3 first, Josh? Since you're the guest,
Okay.
you're sitting on this episode. What do you want to start out with?
I've got to give props to CD Projekt Red finally bringing to light their trailers for Cyberpunk 2077.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I'm super interested in that.
I mean, they just totally nailed it with the Witcher series for story immersion, gameplay. I mean, the detail of a vibrant world like that, and then to see it in a completely different futuristic setting. The moment I heard that it was announced years ago, it's been in development for quite some time now, piqued my interest. And then the rumor was that there would be a trailer dropped at this year's E3 because of leaks that had come out. And I didn't believe it. I always took it with a grain of salt. But then when I actually saw it come up, I thought, oh man, this has got to be good. And I was totally captivated as I thought it would be. It was an amazing trailer. I'm excited to see where they go with it, and I hope that it is the exact same team that brought their A game to The Witcher 3 and earlier titles.
So Cyberpunk 2077, huh?
Yes, it's supposed to be taking place in I believe, a world where there are moralistic issues taking place.
Yeah, I watched the trailer. It's
okay.
really good. So,
yeah.
Them
debating whether or not cybernetics should be used in humans, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Deus Ex, that series, Mankind Divided, things like that.
Yeah.
But the graphics look amazing. I don't think they've shown any in-game footage, mostly cutscenes, but.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it sort of feels like Detroit Become Human? I mean, as far as like the robots, the androids are kind of taking over. The technology is, expanding out.
I think it could definitely go that route. I think it's going to be more than just a game. I think it's going to take, real world issues that are currently in debate and factor it in to make a compelling story. I remember when I came over to your house and you rented Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, it was half an hour of house cleaning.
I was sitting there and I thought, man, these graphics are amazing, but I really wish that they would speed it up a bit
sucks.
because it took a long time to get into some action sequences.
It's like, so I'm going to spoil it a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to spoil it, whatever. I'm not going to ruin the whole game for you.
Okay.
But anyhow, yeah, we got into a half an hour cleaning fest of this guy, this girl, android, goes over this guy and this girl, the little girl. Anyhow, I'm cleaning the shithole this guy lives in and doing his dishes and cleaning up his trash and taking the trash out and going upstairs and cleaning his room and organizing stuff and cleaning bathrooms and toilets, and he goes in there and takes a shit, and then I gotta clean the toilet again. It's not the greatest. It wasn't the greatest set of gameplay experience that I've had. I didn't imagine my Redbox, making me house clean in a virtual world.
You earned your keep.
It was like the worst $3 I spent that night.
I hope that I don't think Cyberpunk 2077 will go that route, thankfully.
No, hopefully it won't make me clean for half an hour. It's bad enough I got to clean in real life. I don't want to do it in a virtual world.
Well, supposedly there are not going to be many, if any, microtransactions with this because CD Projekt Red has been really good and loyal to their customer fan base to where when they sell a game, yeah, they may come out with DLCs down the road, but they're not nickel and diming you every corner. So I'm
That
thinking
sounds like the complete opposite of someone else I could think of.
who comes to mind?
Starts with an E and ends with an A.
Okay, wow.
And they completely screwed the pooch with starts with battle, ends in 2.
Yes, okay. I did not buy that title. If I'm guessing correctly what you said, I think I am because
Battlefront 2.
There's only so many titles
They fucked it up.
that go that way. But yeah,
They really dropped the ball. I'm sorry, they dropped the ball.
loot boxes are not a good way to treat gamers, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it. But the court case unfortunately went in their favor, and when they were determining in several states whether loot boxes constituted as like
gambling.
a lottery, a gamble.
Well, I know they did in Hawaii.
Okay.
Hawaii was one.
Yeah, I'm careful to badmouth developers on a public forum, but yeah,
I don't have any qualms about it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get sponsored by any of them.
EA's hit or miss. There's titles of theirs I really love.
I agree with
and
you
I
on
get
that.
behind, but certain practices I cannot stand behind as a gamer or somebody who believes in.
But I mean, the mass majority will agree that
Yeah.
EA shat the bed with Battlefront 2.
Those analogies just keep coming.
Citation, sir.
Citations.
Citation.
Well, if you're talking about EA, do you mind if I bring up
Bring up whatever you want. I don't care.
Battlefield 5?
Yes,
because
bring up Battlefield 5 because that got announced.
That one, I'm a huge Battlefield fan. I've been playing it since Battlefield 2 came out on PC in 2005. Man, I've been playing Battlefield for 13 years.
Isn't that hard to believe?
They've almost all added something new and unique and better to the series. This one is a little more controversial than the previous ones because there's some gamers claiming that Battlefield 5 trailers have shown historical inaccuracies, but the gameplay looks intact. So I'm willing to give it a chance as a longtime Battlefield player. I know that EA is not without controversy, especially on release day, because they've often had bugginess to the point where games have been broken.
Well, here's the thing. I think all developers are guilty of that because they're in a rush to get a game out, and you have these games that that might not be completely finished until you do the actual update, which basically patches the rest of the game together.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the accuracy of that statement, but from what I've noticed and I've experienced, that is common.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of day one release patches.
Yeah.
I just need something. I'd love for Battlefield 5 to come out and be completely awesome and blow me away. I do a lot of online gaming with friends, including you, and I miss the shooter element. I've played some recently, but mostly Battlefield. I don't do Call of Duty anymore, so I'm rooting for EA.
Right.
As much flack as I give them, I would love to see them do well at this and nail it.
I mean, it's got to be at least better than Hardline.
Yes, that one's kind of a blemish. Some people loved it, but it just for me it diverted too much from the Battlefield feel, I guess.
I remember when I picked it up day one, and I was completely like.
Oh, that's right, you did. I remember coming to your house.
I remember I picked it up midnight release, and I was completely pissed when we got home, and did the download and installed the game, and we started playing. And it's just this is terrible.
Yeah. It was a good idea on paper because I think they're trying to constantly reinvent themselves, which is okay.
Which is fine. I mean, you have to be willing to take risks.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people have seen Battlefield go through phases, and a lot of people have been burnt out on modern day shooters and they want to go retro. And so there was a lot of pressure on EA, from what I had read, to go back to a World War II setting because they had just come out of World War One with Battlefield 1. So a lot of gamers are happy to see this go back to a World War II setting. I'm kind of on the fence about that because in the early 2000s, I played so many World War II shooters that I was actually burnt out on them.
I mean, I think
the Medal of Honor series.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember playing the Medal of Honor series on PS2. God, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
We're old. We're super old.
I've known Matt since we were both about 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, we were pretty young. But, yeah, I mean, well, okay, so I got to bring this up since we're on the whole Battlefield subject.
Okay.
What do you think about the implementation of Battle Royale?
Ooh, okay.
I mean, okay, so do you think it's EA just jumping on the bandwagon of PUBG and Fortnite?
Yes, I do.
Here's my only concern. Is they're going to put a lot less focus on the other online and focus more on the Battle Royale. That's what I'm afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid that we're going to get Battlefield 5, Battle Royale, and the rest of the game is just going to whatever.
I think your fear is a legitimate one to have. I don't want to see Battlefield fail. I'm not a diehard to the point that I would support it no matter what. But yeah, I do think they're riding the bandwagon for now because Battle Royale has become insanely successful through Fortnite. And as long as it stays an option in Battlefield 5 or future Battlefield titles and not the main focus, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you and I had discussed off mic a while back the potential of, it just being one of many game types, which I would like. And I to me, Battlefield will always be conquest, which is like the taking of certain key points on the map, flags, and maintaining them, or rush, which is, you attack a certain position, and once you've held it for a certain amount of time, you then progress to a new area of the map, and the old one is no longer accessible to the enemy. So you're basically pushing them off the map further and further until the enemies no more. They have no more strongholds. That to me has always been Battlefield. But the Battle Royale idea, I'm kind of curious to see if they could pull it off.
We're talking EA. I mean, I think they have enough talent to really pull it off. As far as their execution is what I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And the future of it. Is it gonna engulf the rest of the available things that are on the game?
Yeah.
Is their focus gonna be more on Battle Royale than, let's say, the online shooter part of it?
I guess.
The different aspect, the other aspects of it. That's what my concern is.
Yeah, I think that's a legitimate position to hold. I hope not. I hope that they bring out a well-rounded Battlefield to where no one part of it dominates all others, that it allows people to play Battlefield as they want to play it.
Right.
That's my hope, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. All right, so I think I'm going to take this next spot.
Okay.
What we're going to talk about. So let's talk about Nintendo. And I know you're such a huge Nintendo fan.
Matt's saying that probably in a little bit of irony because I've not followed Nintendo as closely in recent years. That's the whole
reason why I said it.
I figured you did.
Yeah. So anyhow, if you've been living under a rock and you have completely missed out, we're here to help, and we'll provide you some news about Nintendo's announcements. So Nintendo dropped a bombshell that some people were expecting. but then the mass majority wasn't expecting. Fortnite is now on the Switch. Fortnite, in the first 24 hours, had 2 million downloads.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah. That is insane. And it's cross-platform with Xbox One and PC. Except for PS4. Wah, wah, wah.
I've heard that they've been catching a lot of
I'm sorry,
flack for not being cross-platform.
Sony is the Apple of video games.
They do not play well with others.
They do not play well with others. They will give you the finger, smile, and you will still buy their shit. So, sorry, that's what it is. They just don't want to play well with Fortnite. They don't want to do cross-platform. I don't see the issue.
Yeah.
I don't.
Wow. That's quite an improvement to an already vast player base. 2 million in one day.
2 million downloads just on the Switch.
And
now, here's the thing. It's probably not all new players. It's probably existing players that play it on other platforms, but then they just happen to own Switches.
That's very impressive. Have you played it personally?
Yes.
Okay. What are your thoughts on
I really
issues
like it.
like lag? Is it minimal?
It's very minimal. It's very, very minimal. It's very playable. It's a very playable game on a mobile handheld device.
Okay.
The graphics, there is some give and take with it, but for the most part, is definitely playable. And the subtle takeaways from the graphics itself, it's not that noticeable.
Okay. How are the controls compared to?
They're a little awkward.
Okay.
They're a little awkward if you're if you have the Joy-Cons like connected to the Switch.
Okay.
And you're carrying it, it's a little awkward as far as controls. The layout is definitely different than what I'm used to.
I think I remember you playing. You also have a Pro controller, correct?
Yes, I have a Pro controller.
Okay.
It's almost identical to the Xbox One with a Pro controller. But like I said, if you're carrying it, you're mobile with it, that's where it gets a little weird.
Okay. Still 100-person battle royale for the main
Yeah,
game
it's
types?
exact. It's literally an exact carbon copy of Fortnite. The only difference is you're using your Epic account to log into it, and that's probably that's probably exactly how they're doing the cross-platform.
Okay. That's actually really cool. I've not played much Fortnite, maybe 2 rounds before I
here's the
walked
thing,
away from it frustrated.
Okay, so here's the appeal. All right, and this is just, I think it would just smack you in the face because it's so just easy to understand. It's a free game. It has a huge player base. All right. The concepts are easy to grasp. But here's the thing. Yes, they're doing like where you can buy stuff like skins and like backpacks and clothing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And dance moves and all that crap. But anyhow, the thing is, Fortnite itself is doing better than a AAA title. I mean, we're talking most games will cost you $60. Okay.
Yeah.
PUBG, when it came out on Xbox One, was $30. Fortnite is a free game, and it plays better than PUBG, and it's probably a lot more. It's more fun than most AAA titles. I mean, what more can you ask for? That's why it's so popular. I mean, even the poorest of poor if you have an Xbox or you have a relatively decent PC, you can play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Even on, I mean, maybe on the lowest settings, but now you can play it on the Switch. The Switch is cheaper than an Xbox One X.
I know it's gone mobile too, as far as
or you
being
can play it,
on your smartphone.
You can even play it on your smartphone. You're gonna get slaughtered, but you can play it on your smartphone. That is the transcendence of Fortnite. It's on all these platforms and it's free. We're on the eve of like complete change in the game industry just with Fortnite alone. I would love to see more games come out to be free. Yes, if I want to pay extra for, extra stuff like skins and stuff like that, I'm all for that. I get that. But my problem with EA when they did the whole loot box thing was I'm paying $60 for the game, or I'm paying for a special edition of the game, but then I have to also pay for loot boxes. That's just greedy.
Yeah.
Fortnite's not greedy about it. It's a free game. Yes, there's some in-purchase stuff, in-game purchases. Okay, but it doesn't take away from the game.
I think I could be wrong about this, maybe one of our listeners will know, that one of the reasons that EA was in such hot water as well is because they never disclosed the probability of winning certain items. Which
no, they didn't.
Most gambling, quote unquote, or probability based ideas or offers has to disclose that to remain within the law.
Right, but they're not it's not considered gambling.
Right. And we're doing quotation marks with our fingers every time we say that.
Gambling.
But yeah, this is a much less popular game as far as digital sales and downloads, but I play Magic the Gathering on my Xbox One, and it's very fun to me, completely free. If I want to pay more, I can complete the decks of cards that I build on there at a much faster rate than I would if I won them legitimately. I know sometimes these free games that come with conditions, some people are also worried about pay-to-win schemes where I, as a gamer, could
definitely a concern.
Throw $200 at the game and play it much better and stand a better chance of beating people that come into it totally free. And I don't know if that's a reality with Fortnite yet. I don't think that you can get access to new guns that way. I think it's just skins, just cosmetics at this point in time. Which
I don't necessarily have a problem with that.
Yeah. I think you're onto something. I think it could go. Fortnite has kind of set the precedent for how successful a free-to-play game can be.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be about greed. Epic made a good game, not based on greed. They made a better game than most AAA titles.
Mm-hmm.
They made a far popular game than PUBG. I'm not saying that PUBG is one's better than the other. I'm saying user base, Fortnite is definitely popular than PUBG. So
they've certainly made their streamers successful as well.
I mean, look at Ninja.
Giving them jobs that they could have only dreamed about before.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If you look at Twitch, it's almost like 90% of it is Fortnite or Dota or
League of Legends.
League of Legends. Yeah, I mean it's
usually those are the top three every single time you log in.
Right. So, so that happened, and then Nintendo announced something else. Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Ooh.
All the characters from all the Smash games.
I've been such a big Smash Brothers fan ever since the first Nintendo 64 release.
You will now have access to all the characters in every Smash game.
That'd Be awesome. I don't have a Switch, but that would be a selling point for
I'm
me.
getting it. It's a given. I'm already getting it.
Yeah.
I'm pre-ordered, paid, and ready to go. I just need that thing in my hands, and I'm set.
Have they set a release date yet on that? Or to be
Uh,
announced, maybe?
no, I think they have. To be honest with you, I don't have it in front of me.
Okay. I'm just excited to hear that it's even being thought of because I'd love an updated Smash Brothers. Matt knows that I don't own a Switch, but for games like that, I definitely would, especially if there's online support where you can play against other people.
Yeah. Trying to look here real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna be mad at myself if I don't know when it comes out. I just remember going pay. I was just paying for the pre-order. Oh, it's
My
like the
favorite-
third thing that comes up.
My favorite player was always Link.
Mine was always Fox.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Fox or Samus. Okay, so release date is 2018.
Oh, good. It's this
So
year.
it's this year.
Okay.
So it could be anytime this year. So yeah, super excited about that. So that's a lot of characters. I'm interested to see if they provide more characters. And this has been brought up. I don't remember the specific article, but some people brought up Waluigi and Wario. Why are they not on a Smash game? Just asking. Why Nintendo? Why are they not on a Smash game? You own the intellectual property. Why can't you put it on a Smash game?
I think I've told you before that Wario was always my favorite character to race as in the Mario Kart series.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see how he does in a Smash Brothers
Well, I remember
game.
I remember when Wario was first introduced. It was Super Mario Brothers 2, The Secret of the Gold Coins. It was a Game Boy game.
6 golden coins or something like that. Yeah, he was the villain. I
he
remember
was the
playing
villain
that
on
as a kid.
He was the villain on that game. Because I remember getting it. I remember getting it for Christmas that year that it came out. It was like one of the 4th or 5th games that I bought, or I didn't buy because I wasn't old enough to buy them. But yeah, that was one of the games that my parents bought me, and I remember opening that up on Christmas. So
Awesome memories.
memories.
I love the Game Boy, and actually I still have the box for that.
The Game Boy.
The Super Mario Land 2.
Oh wow.
Not to sound too much like a hoarder, but that was one of the things that
Okay, so let's briefly talk about your collection.
Oh no.
We're not going to get into detail, but
Okay.
I want to say that Josh has a pretty well done collection.
It's not as extensive as some, but I have some nice titles.
It's yours is more quality than quantity.
Okay. Thank you.
I think that's a fair assessment. It's more quality than quantity.
Most of these games that I have are ones that I purchased firsthand. You know, I'm the only owner. I never bought them at a thrift store. As a kid, I was a paper boy to supplement my gaming habits. So most of my monthly income went into buying Super Nintendo games all the way through Nintendo 64. And occasionally my brother, who was the PS1 owner in the family, would let me buy games for that system so that I could play them on his console. But yeah, I just never parted with the majority of them because they meant too much to me and I enjoyed them, and I still break them out occasionally to play them today.
I had a lot of games. I had probably about 20 or 30 NES games or
Okay.
SNES games. And then my mom got rid of them. And I had about 100 Atari games, and my mom got rid of them. So yeah, I'm still a little pissed about that.
I hope she's not listening.
I don't care.
Okay. Well, you have
She
a
got
reason.
rid of it. I'm still pissed.
I would be traumatized.
Yeah, I mean, I still played the games, and that's what really irritated me.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, other kids can use this." No, 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 no. We spent all this money on this, and I still play it, so we're gonna keep it. And then she like the one day out from under me, like got rid of it. I was super pissed.
That's a good question. What is the Nintendo Switch doing about their
Virtual console?
their virtual console store?
They're not doing it.
Okay, I might be behind the times on that a little bit, but as
They're not doing it.
we discussed, I'm a little bit behind on Nintendo. So are you concerned by that, or is
I'm
it something
pissed.
you're okay with?
No, I'm pissed. I think, and this is opinion. I think they should do virtual console. If you want to sell the NES Classic, if you want to sell the SNES Classic, and you want to give 20 games, if you want to give 30 games, that's fine. But what games you don't offer on those systems, you should offer on a virtual console. How hard can that be? Because I'm willing to bet majority of the third-party games, along with the Nintendo games, would still be well received even after decades of when it was first released.
Yeah.
People that are companies, developers, whoever owns the rights to some of these games, I'm willing to bet would not say no if they were able to make money on a title that hadn't been making money in, let's say, a few years, because a lot of the titles were on the Wii U. I mean, there was Virtual Console on the Wii U, so there was a lot of titles on there, and I'm willing to bet nobody is really gonna let money just sit there on the table and just walk away.
Yeah. I know that some of these old studios have come and gone and died out, and maybe there are occasionally licensing right issues.
Which I get that. Don't put it on the Virtual Console.
Right. But do you think that it's just lazy on their part, that they don't want to deal with that and they'd rather concentrate on new games, or do you think it's just too complicated? Or
No, I think their concern is they don't want to cannibalize their IPs, and they don't want to cannibalize all the other titles that were on the NES
okay,
or the SNES. And I think that is short-sighted thinking. Now, mind you, this is my opinion, but I think it's short-sighted thinking. You're still making money.
yeah,
You're still providing these titles to newer gamers to enjoy. Our generation's getting old. We're at least another 5 to 10 years. We're going to be in our 40s.
mm-hmm,
Our days of playing NES are slowly dwindling. The generation that's still kind of there is SNES. If you look at Atari, there is still a fan base for Atari. But if you look at their fan base, they're 50s and 60s and older. I'm sorry. You might as well just strike while the iron's still hot. Strike when we're still young, while we're still nostalgic, and we still want to buy it. But I think they're being apprehensive in the fact that they don't want to pull another video game crash of the 80s.
okay,
I'm willing to bet that's probably one thing in the back of their mind. They don't want to cannibalize the market.
I know.
But here's the thing: let the community decide that.
Yeah, I'm not a father yet. I'd like to be maybe someday, but I imagine all the dads out there who grew up on certain games and would love to provide those experiences to their children or mothers, either. But I, as a kid, sold off a lot of my Nintendo my NES collection. I've since kept my Super Nintendo Entertainment System collection and 64 and
Really,
beyond.
you sold off your NES stuff?
Well, as you know, a 10-year-old kid at the time, I didn't understand how to
Well,
fix
I don't think any of us really understood it.
how to fix a system back then. Yeah, and when
nobody
mine
understood it.
would get the blinking blue screen, I just assumed, oh, console went bad. Time to get rid of it while I can still get my money's worth. And then as an adult, you know, you kick yourself because you're like, oh, that was a somewhat fixable problem. You just got to replace the pin connector and a couple
Because
other
I remember
things.
I fixed the one of yours.
Yes,
with the
you-
72 pin connector.
Yeah, thankfully I've got the hookup here with Matt who knows these consoles inside and out. And I would love for these people, moms and dads, to be able to provide those games that they may not have a copy of anymore.
Right.
And if you want to find them, most of the time you have to go out and find a vintage hard copy.
And you're going to pay through the nose, depending on the title.
Yeah. Why not, as you said, have it available and let the market decide what's in demand? And I think Nintendo's missing out on an opportunity from... I'd love to have some of my old collection back. But I don't want to go pay 50, 60 or more dollars per cartridge.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, a lot of titles you're going to pay, you're going to pay 20, 30. There's some titles going to be in the hundreds. There's going to be a smaller fraction of titles that are going to be in the 200 or above range. There's going to be a smaller fraction. We're talking like 0.5 of the NES lineup that's going to be even higher than that. Eventually, you know, they'll probably go down, just not quickly. But here's the thing, you know, like it's going back to what I said. Collectors from that generation, we're getting older. Some of us will probably want to downsize. I know a lot of collectors that have gotten burnt out, and they just sell it off because it's taking up space.
Wow, that makes me
Not that
sad
I've
just
gotten to
hear.
that point, but it happens. And with digital, you can have it on a newer system. It's
Yeah.
going to play in high definition, or it's going to play on a newer system. Like, so let's say hypothetically it's the Switch.
Yeah.
You can take it with you. You can play it on your TV. If I want to play it with my son, he gets to enjoy what I used to enjoy when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still preserving the title, and I think that should be a priority.
I agree, and you get updated connections on the newer consoles. I think I have since acquired another NES and cartridges. They were my cousin's. I bought them off of her.
Nice.
And
Did you get any gems?
I'm trying to think. I did buy a Mike Tyson's Punch Out from her.
Nice.
I got everything for $30. It was like the system,
Really?
2 controllers, the light gun, the zapper, and about 15 titles. And
So,
a couple of them still had the boxes.
Whoa.
Yeah, in mint condition, not just like tattered. Like she never
Yeah,
took
okay,
them.
so like just the NES alone, you already made your money.
I would think so. Yeah.
No, like they're at least $50 in good working condition
Okay.
with controller, cords, and like. Well, I mean, I don't think the light gun's that important, but controllers, console, and cords, that's at least $50. So yeah, you more than made your money. So like, what are your most notable pickups that are from that set? So you said Mike Tyson's Punch Out's one.
Yes.
What's another game?
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Okay.
And there's one, I can't remember what it's called. It's some sort of a helicopter flight game.
Tiger Healy.
It was made by an off-brand. There's an entire YouTube documentary series on it, made by a company you probably heard of called Tengen. I believe it is.
Oh yeah, it's one of the third party games.
The third-party NES. So I think it's highly collectible because they actually lost a lawsuit against Nintendo and had to destroy or at least cease distributing a lot of the copies. But I mean,
it's not as. I mean the. Yeah, I mean there are some Tengen games that are pretty pretty well known.
Yeah, it's in mint condition, the box, and I played it. It runs really well. It's fun. It's not that rare, but I also picked up a copy of Operation Wolf, which I still find fun all these years later.
Game. I remember playing that in an arcade with the Uzis.
Yeah. Double Dragon 2.
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, that's a common, but it's a relatively common game. But that's still a good pickup.
Making me all nostalgic. They really do need to bring out Virtual Console, please.
Exactly.
I mean, these memories that we're talking about right now are very fond, and
the thing is, eventually these things will not last on the shelf.
Yeah,
they will become useless. Yes, they've made it 30 years in most cases. They're not going to make. They may or may not make it 60. I might not make it 60.
Don't go. Don't go.
But it can't stand up to the test of time. But if it's in digital, it has a good chance.
I'd like to see that. And what is your favorite NES game if you can narrow it down to one?
If I can narrow it down to one?
Okay, I'll give you two.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is going to be one.
Okay.
Because I played the hell out of that game. And I would say it'd be a toss-up between Super Mario Bros. 2 or Super Mario Bros. 3.
Okay.
Because hell, I remember... Okay. So, to kind of take people back, I remember seeing Super Mario 3 when it was in the movie The Wizard.
Okay.
I wasn't that old though. I think it might have been 5 or 6.
That's where they have the competition.
Yes.
Like the public competition, and it was like a world reveal, wasn't it? Like nobody had seen this game play before that movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty. If memory serves me, it came out in '89, and from my understanding, it was the last game. It was the last movie of that year. Well, no, it was literally the last movie of the 1980s.
Okay.
Because literally, like the next week, it was going to be the 90s.
Yep.
So yeah, I remember seeing The Wizard in theaters, and they release Super Mario Brothers 3. Oh my god, I felt like my eyes were going to explode. I was screaming in the theaters. My grandma was like giving me weird looks, like it's just a movie.
Matthew, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, she was really straight laced. So, I miss grandma. But anyhow, I remember her taking me to the movies to see it, and I was just completely enamored, and I still love the movie today. So yeah. It's a toss-up between 2 and 3, but I would lean more towards 3.
Okay.
Just for the movie, and Lucas had the Power Glove. It's so bad.
I remember. It's funny, all these memories that come out just talking about this stuff.
Why do you think I do podcasting? I have a recorded record of asinine things that come out of my mouth that of jumbled shit that was in my head.
Yeah.
And I have a record that will live longer than me. That's why I podcast. Plus, it keeps me insane. It keeps me sane.
You almost said insane.
I'm gonna say insane.
Stop yourself.
It's a love-hate relationship because there's times where I feel like I'm insane for actually still doing podcasting because it is so much work, but I love doing it.
Well,
but go back to what you was gonna say.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was going to say that even Power Glove brings a memory to my mind because when my parents moved to a different house in 95, I believe it was, May of 95. We changed houses, and I had to change to a totally different school, and I ended up running into you again. Matt and I went to school at an elementary school in our early childhood, and then again at a different elementary on the other side of town. I guess we both moved into that district. But anyways, when I moved into this house, the former owners had left a treasure trove of random things in the attic that they didn't want to deal with. They didn't want to take with them, so they said, whatever you find up there, it's yours. We just don't want to have to take it. Okay. So I went up there and I started finding all sorts of cool stuff. This is like a treasure hunt for a kid. And I not only found an entire book of Cincinnati Reds baseball cards
Nice.
in mint condition from the 1990 World Series winners team.
They won the series in the 90s?
They won. That was the last time we won a championship, was
wow.
1990. And it was a complete collection, so I thought that was awesome.
So it was like, that was still like the Pete Rose years.
I did find Pete Rose in there, but
Okay.
I don't think he was currently an active player.
Okay.
He might have been management at that point in time.
I know that was sometime around that.
But
I haven't followed the Reds in years.
I found in the box next to it a perfect mint condition Power Glove. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh.
Did you keep it?
I still have it.
You still have it?
Yeah, and I remember finding it and
Wow.
thinking 95, Super Nintendo had already been out for several years, but
Wow.
I was always curious how a Power Glove performed because I was never exposed to one. I never had one. I didn't know anybody who had one growing up.
So you said it was in perfect condition, so like box and manual, everything.
The glove,
Like even the foam was still good.
the glove, well, it didn't have a box, but the glove didn't have, any tears. There's barely, I didn't see any sign of wear and tear. So it was most likely played with a few times, and then the kid lost interest, and then they just
Threw it up.
put it up in the attic. And what else did I find? Oh, I found an empty Sega Genesis box, which I was super ecstatic about because I thought, I wonder if there's something inside, if the Genesis is still in there, but it turned out to be nothing.
You should have kept the box.
Well, because that would actually,
It'd be worth some money.
yeah.
It wouldn't be like as much as a complete, but you could literally get a Genesis and complete it.
And then put them together.
Put them together.
But that was a fun childhood
There's actually one
memory.
right behind you, so.
Oh, yes.
It's behind that monitor, yeah.
Nice.
There's a Genesis there.
Uh,
With a shit ton of games.
I love that era, and I hope that Nintendo will hear from fans that are as enthusiastic about preserving it as you and I.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Nintendo did well. There were some other notable titles that Nintendo talked about during their announcement. Now, I do want to mention one thing before we start to kind of wrap it up, and then we'll do like some quick funny tweets. But anyhow, yeah, so we're only like an hour and 17 in. So, Pokemon for the Switch. They are releasing a Pokeball that is kind of part of a game that will work with mobile. It'll sort of work with Pokemon Go. It'll work with a game on your Switch. So would you like to play Price is Right on how much this device will cost you?
I would like to play.
You would like to play?
May I ask the host questions
Sure.
before I guess the value?
Sure.
Is any part of it electronic?
Yes.
Is there an LCD?
No.
Is it
Not on the device. Not on that specific. Not on the Pokeball. No.
Okay. Does it? I'm trying to think of how this thing could possibly look. Is it battery operated?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna guess $99.
I would say you're a little high.
High. Okay. $49.99.
In 1 cent.
And one's at $50.
Yes, it is $50. Somebody's won. Yes, it's $50.
Okay.
Um,
Yay.
So you can get a Pokeball that's interactive for $50. I don't know how I feel about that.
Do you think parents are willing to buy something like that for their kids?
I don't know. Nintendo is crazy enough to think parents are going to pay $70 for cardboard
Oh, yeah.
with Nintendo Labo.
No, thank you.
Speaking of that, I really haven't heard a whole lot about that.
I think people will probably recognize it for the gimmick that it is.
Yeah, I'm willing to see maybe in a future episode how Nintendo Labo is doing.
There was almost any YouTuber you look up that talks about that makes fun of Nintendo. I mean, the idea is kind of interesting, but as you said, the price plan is...
You sold people cardboard.
Yeah.
You sold people really high-end cardboard for $70.
What?
For $60 or $70, depending on which package you get.
I am curious. What does a $50 Pokeball buy you? Like, what are its abilities?
It interacts with Pokemon Go, and it interacts. So, like, let's say you catch a Pokemon in the wild, you can catch in the Pokeball, and transfer between the game on your phone to the game on your Switch.
Okay. I would have to be a diehard Pokemon fan.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
But that was more my brother's thing. When we were growing up, he had like 6 or 7 of the Pokemon versions. But I've still, to this day, never played a Pokemon game. I know. I'm on the outside on that one. But I don't mind the characters. I think they're cool. I like seeing them in the Super Smash Brothers games.
Yeah, I mean... So, yeah, let me just give you a little brief introduction with this. So, yeah, it's $50. Has roughly 3 hours of battery life and can be recharged with a regular Switch charger. So, it is USB-C compatible. And it's part of Pokemon Let's Go, and you get a Mew exclusive with the Pokeball. So you get a Pokemon free with your $50 Pokeball.
I would hope so.
Yeah, that's the least they could do. So it's interesting. I think it adds another element, but I don't think at the $50 price point. If it was $20 or $30 price point, okay. We're talking. We're talking. But at 50, nah.
What's the most amount of money you've ever paid, if you don't mind saying on stream, for a collectible video game item?
Before or after I met my wife.
Oh no, that is the question. Before, I'm curious because I assume you paid more back then.
No, I actually paid less.
Oh.
But it would be worth more.
Okay.
I think the most expensive thing that I purchased was can't think about that, man. I think it's still in storage. The U-Force. Let me look at
I'm not sure I'm familiar with that.
God, it's been a while.
But I did catch you off guard, and I don't want to rat you out to your wife in case she listens to this.
No.
And
So
blames.
no, it's the Nintendo U-Force. Yeah, I purchased one of those, and I don't remember. I know I paid a decent amount for it. So like, I don't know. I don't really. A lot of the games I've had for a long, long time. I mean, I purchased some games to just kind of fill in where I didn't have. But I think I paid. I don't know. I think that was like the most I paid for it.
Okay.
It was either that or the Power Glove.
Ooh,
Yeah, I paid a lot for the Power Glove.
I didn't know you have one of those.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I'll keep
We'll
quiet.
leave it at that.
Yes.
But yeah, the U-Force. U-Force,
Okay.
the Power Glove, one of the two. So yeah, that. Oh, let's briefly talk about one thing since it is another big thing we should mention. Actually, man, you can get a Nintendo NES U-Force controller only, as is, for $14.99. It's only the controller is included. No accessories come with it. That's the only bad thing.
Okay.
Because it's probably missing the stick. So you're looking about $35 if you want like a U-Force. So yeah, one other thing I think we need to talk about is Fallout 76.
Okay.
We briefly talked about this before we started recording. What was one of your big gripes?
Well, at the risk of getting up on a soapbox,
Get up on that soapbox. We
I-
got some time.
I think that this could go horribly wrong, because it's online only, and there will be people that disagree with me because they'll cite a whole bunch of games where that has
Elder
actually
Scrolls.
worked.
Yeah, ESO.
And I'm not saying it can't, but Fallout has always been very single player focused, and I think that's great because their storyline's been fantastic in my view. Also, it allows for mods, which has kept a lot of the community coming back and maintain their interest long after they beat the main campaign on normal mode.
Do you think the mods are going to be affected by online only?
I don't know how they couldn't be. Maybe I could be proven wrong on that. But when you have a massive online game where everybody has to play by the same rules, I don't know how mods can only be, quarantined to a certain group of people.
Right.
You or me or whoever we're playing with. If we're supposed to interact with other people in the Fallout community, I don't see how that can mesh well. As I said, I could be wrong on that, but with single player, they allow you to have mods, even on console, which I thought was impressive, but it automatically deactivates the ability to get achievements in the game because they assume by using mods,
You're cheating.
You're literally cheating or breaking the game to do it, so they just take out the ability. So, in theory, Fallout 76 would not allow mods because everybody has to play on a level playing field. So that has me concerned, and I've seen other people online voice those same concerns. But also, I'm wondering if storyline might suffer because they
Something to think about.
may push people toward a group dynamic where it's faction focused. You're supposed to complete daily quests and level up.
Sort of like Destiny's formula.
Possibly, yeah. I really don't want to see it go that route where it's minimal storyline and heavy gameplay. I'd prefer it be a mixture of both, where everything is just hitting it right on the mark. But time will tell. I'm a big Fallout fan. I've still never played 1 or 2, so that might make me a casual. But 3, New Vegas, 4, they've all set the bar high for me. I still play all of them. So I'm eager to see. Fallout 76 falls into that category for me where I don't want to see it fail. I'm rooting for these guys, but I also go into it with a mind that's cautious. Like, please, guys, don't go down this route, this trap, because
Right.
it's so common to mess it up.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, you don't. I mean, there are games that hold personal feeling with you, and you don't want to see it fail. You don't want to see something that you've put a lot of enjoyment in just completely get trashed.
Yeah. Todd Howard, the lead developer, the lead producer, I should say. in my opinion, is a marketing genius, and he's done phenomenal work with the Elder Scrolls series, the Fallout series. I think he's even worked with Doom. He's not let me down yet. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I will say I hope that it comes out very non-buggy, because I know Bethesda kind of has a track record of, like what we were talking about earlier, one of those game developers that needs day one patches.
Yeah.
But it might not play at all the first day.
True.
It might need... I've bought games, cough, Battlefield.
And I think that's where the online only is going to kick in.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're going to end on the E3 stuff. I don't know. Let's take 5 minutes and we'll go over some some funny tweets. I know you're such a big Twitter fan.
I read them, but I've never tweeted.
All right, so here's some. So we'll end it on a good note. Not that we were talking about bad stuff, but we'll end it with some more funny stuff. So here are a few tweets that I've come across. No, they're relatively recent. I'll give them credit for that. All right, so this first tweet, and you might like this one. I once taught an 8 a.m. college class. So many grandparents died that semester. I then moved my class to 3 p.m. No more deaths. And that, my friends, is how I save lives.
What in the world?
This one's from Andy Richter. I think he sometimes just forgot there's a dog door. He's talking about his dog.
Okay.
Just completely forgetting there's a door. This one's from Jerry. Styles Truly. Me in real life, I'm very private and reserved person. I don't like talking about my personal life. Me on Twitter.
The irony is real.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I love memes. Memes are great. So have you seen the one anime tweet or the anime meme where the guy with the glasses and the butterfly?
I don't believe I have.
Okay. You might need to swing around for this one then.
Okay.
And so it's art teachers. Any art style that isn't realistic. Is this anime? I love that meme. I'm sorry, it's great. Here's another one. When people meet me in person after only knowing me from social media, they are always shocked to find out I'm nothing like my online persona, and in fact, have a much worse personality.
Has anybody said that about you?
A few people. I've had people definitely mention that. So this one's actually not. This one's kind of different. So this person took an article and then took the caption, and then they made their own edits. So this is what they ended up with. Exclusive, ex-fiance who escaped the suspected Golden State Killer. And then they add that correct punctuation too. Kudos to them for doing that. Killer's A, rapist and murderer, is alive, went on to marry successful accountant, and is now hiding because she is being blamed. So yeah, they corrected this person's caption with a lot of commas and all kinds of good stuff. Because any writer, you would think they would use spell check and correct punctuation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Grammar, please.
Let's see here. Okay, so this will be the last one. This one's actually pretty good. If a train runs into one of its own passenger cars, it explodes. If it runs into an unattached passenger car, it becomes 1 car longer. The rules are the same as Snake.
Bump.
Like the game Snake.
Okay.
Like the one you used to play on your phone way back in the day.
I must be lost.
Okay, I'm sorry that flew over your
That
head.
one was lost on me. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be the best wingman I possibly can.
Okay, so this will be the last one since that one was completely way over your head.
Let's try this again.
The bird that lives in this birdhouse makes $240,000 a day by making other birds work in his warehouse for 5 sunflower seeds an hour. It's capitalism at its best, even in a birdhouse. All right, so that is our funny tweets. They were sort of funny, but it was kind of like a last minute thing that I wanted to do. Something different. So some last minute house cleaning items. You can follow us. You can follow us on our social media at Flashback Sequence Engaged on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at FSE Podcast. You can check us out on Instagram at FSE Podcast. You can send us hate mail or any kind of mail at fsepodcast@gmail.com. We also have a Patreon page, which we did get a new Patreon supporter. Betty. She is greatly helping us out, and it will cover a lot of cost because she's covering quite a bit monthly. So thank you, Betty, for doing that for us. So yeah, check us out on Patreon. You can support us, toss us a few bucks. You can just sort of support us by listening, like, follow, share, retweet, all that. So help us out. I think that's all I got.
Thank you for having me on the show, Matt.
Well, you're welcome.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you
And it was a good conversation.
dragged me here kicking and screaming.
Well, yeah. The thing is, it wasn't as bad as what you expected, correct? Your expectations were different.
They have been completely surpassed. I mean, for the better. I mean, I don't usually
would
like
you be more interested in doing an episode again?
I guess we'll determine that from the viewership. If they like this, we'll go from that. But yeah, on your end, you're a good friend, and I appreciate you inviting me. And it has been fun. I've enjoyed discussing the issues with you, and I felt very welcome on your show.
Anytime.
Yeah, I think usually I'm just a quiet person, and to put my voice out there is a little bit outside of my normal thing.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoy it. I now see why you do what you do, and you're this far into it.
Oh wait, I just came across this tweet. This is really good.
Uh-oh.
I think Thanos killing half of the entire population of the universe is going to be so great for comedy. But okay, so we're going to end it with that. So this is Matt signing off. Have a good one.
Everything changes.